the original baby gangster, Big Diablo #1, man. From that Polk Street Linwood Crip gang, man. On that Lil Win or that Hideaway, you already know, man. Fernwood to Imperial. It don't stop.
That's it. Professor Melly Mill, the Hood Postman, and we are back at it, man. We got a part 3, and we got our favorite guy right here, you know, Mr. Devil, Big Devil, aka Diablo, man. How you doing today?
Yes, sir. Oh man, enjoying this breeze. Nice, beautiful day out here.
Hey man, listen, man. I want to first start off by giving a shout out, man, to some of the guys, man, that was over there in the Hideaway. You know what I mean, from that Polk Street tribe, man, because it's important that we give a shout out to those guys that were there, and we, whether they rest in peace or we have to memorialize them or just give them a shout out, period, man, because they were all part of the circumstance. So we're gonna start off with Goon, Mad Rat, Blue Rag, Murdoch, BK, 8-Ball Snake, Gangster Popeye, Crip Crow, Crip Cow, man, and plus Crow, J-Bone, Cyco, Ghost, D-Rock, Lunatic, Black, C-Rag, Bandit, J-Bird, Sandman, Bugsy, Teardrop, C-Wack, and J-Stone, man. So when you hear those names, man, what does that mean to you?
Oh man, shit, damn near everybody named on that list. You gotta put them on, or I done named them. You know
Wait a minute.
Everybody on that list I done named.
Everybody on that list, you gave them a name.
I gave them that name.
So talk to us about how did you come across that? What made you start doing that?
Well, probably around like 94, 95 when we start that massive recruitment of the BGs. You know what I mean? I was like one of the ones. Every time we, you know, I was on that put on crew. You know, when somebody came to get initiated, you know what I'm saying? I was like one of the main ones.
Wait a minute. You mean they had to come through Devil?
They
If they weren't worthy, if they couldn't make it past Devil, they wouldn't on.
Well, no. A lot of them didn't make it past.
So what was some of the things that you look for that kept a guy around, Devil?
Well, all the dudes that stayed in the hood, you got a lot of people that stayed in the hood that wasn't from the hood,
so we can call them live-ins.
Live-ins. So we befriended them, invited them to the Hideaway, you know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I'm plotting on them. Because I'm like, you know, I'm already knowing before the day's end, you're going to be from the set, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they was our friends, but they wasn't from the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like let's take Crow, for instance. You know, Crow was in the hood since he was 5, 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? And we watched him grow up. He watched us, you know what I'm saying? And then when he became of age, when it was time for him to get put on, you know what I'm saying, he came to the Hideaway. We called it the Shark Tank in the back of the Hideaway. You know, it was a cement slab like a boxing ring. You know what I'm saying? We take you back there, you know what I'm saying? We put 2 homies on you, you know what I'm saying, for 4 minutes and, you know, test them hands out. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them didn't make that 4 minutes.
So after the test, was there like maybe a questionnaire or was there anything spoken in it where you helped you determining your decision on whether they belong or not?
No, it wasn't no questionnaire because, like I say, a lot of them grew up in the hood. So, you know what I'm saying, they just wasn't from the hood. You know what I'm saying? So we just welcomed them in, you know what I mean, took them under our wings and shit and just, you know what I'm saying, put them on.
So how was the loyalty aspect of it taken? Was that taken throughout their walk or throughout just something you just saw in them?
Something I saw in them. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers always want to hang around, but they was too young to hang with us. You know, we always, man, going back around the corner, going down the street somewhere, man, till you get old enough. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them wanted in, but it was a lot of homies that didn't live in the hood. And those was kind of like the ones that I didn't really trust, didn't have that bond with because, you know, I really don't know you. You know what I'm saying? So either they was brought to the hood by one of the homies or family members. You know what I'm saying? So there was the ones that really had to, you know, gain our trust.
So out of the ones I just named, Diablo, which ones that exceeded your expectations? Because there's always an exception to everything, right? Yeah. And sometimes people will surprise you when you really, something you didn't see, but then they surprise you, you know what I mean? You be like, wow, I didn't know this nigga had this in him. Were there any people like that in there?
I say Crow. Like my generation, I would say Crow. He probably one of the main ones. Cyco. Cyco was the last homie that I put on the hood, and that was the last BG that I named. It was Cyco. You know.
I'm glad you mentioned Cyco, because after the death of Stephen Blair, one of the Jump Out boys, the sheriff out of Linwood Station, after he was whatever happened, whatever the circumstances behind what happened to him, and we both know that the sheriff department in itself is problematic when it comes to the black community and the brown community, because they really don't know how to address us, talk to us, you know what I mean, approach us, and they approach us with such of aggression that we have no other choice to be, you know what I mean, defiant,
Right.
and push back. Like, wait a minute, man, I'm a man, you know what I mean, you know. So after Blair was out of the picture, how was the Jump Out boys? What was their thing? You know what I mean? Because now you got to think at some point they're coming back,
Right.
and they're gonna put even more bullshit in the game,
Right.
because this is what these people do.
Right.
Talk to me about that.
So what they did was they vanished for a while. They vanished for about a couple of months after Blair was killed, and what happened was they didn't do nothing but escalate the war between us and them dudes over there. And I wasn't seeing no hop out boys, no sheriffs, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? We was walking around with assault rifles. You know, we broad daylight, walking to the store with guns out in our hands. You know what I'm saying? Ain't even giving a fuck. You know, we seeing no police. We know they ain't coming. So the police just sat back, man, and let us go to war. You know, let the war intensify. You know what I'm saying? And when they showed back up on bikes, and they showed up with reinforcements. You know, that's when they came with Coed and Edwards and all them other motherfuckers. And they parked their bikes, you know what I'm saying? Now they start walking around through the hood. You know, they parked their bikes down the street and start walking through the hood and shit, you know what I'm saying? And then
Let's explore that moment right there. See, because I had a moment with those same individuals that were on the bikes, right? And I was actually leaving the Hunt's motel, going across the street to the Kailua, right? And I went over there. I met with the homie Fred. Fred was from Hoover, and went to his room, did some business with him and stuff. You know what I mean? And I was coming out, instead of me taking what I had, because you know what I mean, I was running an illegal pharmacy. You know what I mean? I was running a pharmaceutical without a license. You know, so. I got it in my hand, right? So when I get to the end of the driveway of the Kailua, sheriff's hit the corner on bicycle. So I immediately went into this act. I was like, "Hello, officers. Lovely day for a bike ride. Isn't it, officers?" And they all just paused and looked at me. You know what I mean? But I hit them. I got them before they was able to get me, so to speak, because I took whatever's on their mind. I took it away, because now you got this silly black guy in front of you saying this crazy stuff to him. And they just sort of like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? But unknown to them, I was happy as hell, because I went on and got out about my business, you know what I mean? And went on about my business. But yeah, that I survived that day. But talk about those bicycle cops, man.
Yeah, I think they got rid of those cars and got on those bikes because they wanted that hand-to-hand contact with us now. You know what I'm saying? Because they knew if you put us on a car, ain't no way we finna get searched. You know what I'm saying? We're going to start running. You know what I'm saying? It was times where homies would have rocks between their fingers, get on the car and break, and just rocks flying everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So we running on top of the car, you know what I'm saying? Getting on. So one time they came in a hideaway on bikes, and we was on the roof. And this was like right when the sun finna come down, and we had these piss bottles that we used to piss in, and we had them open, of course, and they came in riding on their bikes, and we just hung them at their ass. You know what I'm saying? So now they on their bikes jumping out, they getting hit with bottles and shit.
It was a pissy day for them.
Yeah, so they looking up and they see us on the roof. You know what I'm saying? And that fucked our strategy of the roof off, because then they started coming with the helicopters at nighttime. You know what I'm saying? They'll come with the helicopter first, and they scan the roof to see if we up there and shit. And then they'll send a patrol car up there, because they did that the night Cyco got killed.
Okay, we're going to talk about Cyco. But talk to me about when you guys were in the hideaway and they figured out if they got behind the wall, somehow they can listen to your conversations. Talk about that, and then we're going to go back to Cyco.
Yeah, they used to park and they jump on the bikes, and they'll park their bikes on each side of the hideaway, and they'll sit with their backs up against the wall or squat down, however, and they'll listen to our conversations and shit. You know what I mean? Because the next day they'll come and jack us and tell us everything that we was saying and shit, and we couldn't figure it out. Like, now how do you motherfuckers know what the hell we were just talking about? You know what I'm saying? Last night and shit. Because a lot of times we was plotting our missions and plotting, you know, crimes and shit like that, and they'll, you know what I'm saying, either catch us leaving off the block. Because one time they caught me, Coed. Me and my homeboy was in the car, we rolling off the block. He pull up, block me in, and jump out. You know what I'm saying? Walk up to the car and say, hey, you gonna keep lying about your name? Because I was giving my oldest brother name, I was using his name, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, big bro, but yeah, I was using his name because I knew he was clean. And the motherfucker grabbed a 38 out of his trunk and threw it on my car, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know, we found this in your car, you know what I'm saying? So you either tell me your real name or put this gun on you. You know, do what you
and this was Coed, right?
This was Coed, yeah.
Coed was part of that Compton CVICC Compton, CIVCC Compton inner city violence crime task force with the FBI, ATF, DEA. He was part of that, you know what I mean? He was part of that crew that got me, Gangster, my brother Age, the homie Pee Wee, the homie Don Juan, and a few others. It was like 26 on our indictment in 2001. He was part of that. So yeah, he's been a dirty cop for a pretty good while, man. But Spinach talking about that part.
Yeah, so he threw the gun on the hood of the car and shit. It was like, yeah, if you don't tell me who you are, I'll take you to jail for this gun. So I'm like, fuck you, take me to jail. You know what I'm saying? I already told you who I am. But he already had my file in his car and shit. So when he put me in cuffs and threw me in the back seat, he grabbed my file and opened it up and looked at my file like, yeah, ain't this you? Showed it to me. I'm like, yeah, that's me. You already know who I am. He's like, I just wanted to see if you was going to be man enough to tell me who you is. You know what I'm saying? I know who all y'all is and shit. And he had, like, you know, he had about 6 or 7 different files and shit of all our main homies and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So he's showing them to me. You know who this guy is? This guy? Yeah, we coming to getting all y'all one by one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We got a special task force assigned just to y'all. We're going to take y'all down.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right there. Okay. So what year is it? Okay, we're going to talk about Psych, and we're also going to talk about Stranger. What year was that? The first one?
With Stranger?
The first incident that happened?
Shit, that was in 96.
96. So that's after Blair gets killed.
Yeah,
so talk to us about Stranger, because Stranger is part of Young Crowd, and this is a part of that police aggression that come back, right?
Yeah, I think he got killed in the early 90s.
Uh-huh.
He was shot and killed by Hop Out Boy, one of their gang detectives. And shit, I think it was Luna was his name.
Uh-huh.
He killed Stranger in his yard.
Uh-huh.
Shit, so that was in the early 90s.
Okay. So, okay, let's go back to Psych.
Cyco was killed February 19th, a week after my homie Blue was killed.
Uh-huh.
Blue was killed on February 12th. Cyco was killed by the sheriffs on the 19th.
And what are the circumstances?
So Cyco got killed. They did the same thing. What they did this night, they was conducting a night raid.
Uh-huh.
So some shit that happened with us, as far as some situations that took place that they was trying to put the clamps down on, because it was, like I say, man, the shooting was out of control. You know what I mean? People get shot every day, all day, every day. So we was in the back in the Shark Tank. You know what I'm saying? We had a little meeting and shit. You know what I'm saying? Putting our little strategy together.
Uh-huh.
And I kept hearing some shit in the alley. I'm like, damn, sounded like somebody was stepping on eggs and shit, like, you know, chips and shit in the bag. I look over the wall, I don't see nobody. Tell the homie Gully, I said, man, look over the wall, see if you see anybody. He's like, no, I don't see nobody. And so we steady talking and shit, you know what I'm saying? You know, we armed and shit, got our guns and shit, you know what I'm saying? We loading up, making sure everything was good, putting our gloves and shit on, because like I say, we plan to go on a mission. And I hear some shit again. Sound like this time it sounded like somebody talking. I look over the wall again, I don't see nobody. So I didn't pay him no mind. Next thing I know, I hear a helicopter from far away. So we're looking in the sky and shit, but we don't see it. We hear it, but we don't see the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Next thing I know, sheriff car coming in the hideaway. Now, we already know when these motherfuckers hit the hideaway driveway, they ain't hitting the hideaway driveway at 5 miles an hour. Them motherfuckers coming in there 20, 25 miles an hour. You know, like I say, sometimes them motherfuckers used to crash crashing to the gates and all kind of shit.
So what was the reason why they crashed at the gate? What did you guys do?
We used to put sand, because we had a sandbox in the front, so we used to bring sand on to the front. So when they come, they spin out and burn out. They ain't got no traction and shit. You know what I'm saying? Give us time to get on.
Right.
So this time, they come in there slow speed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah, I'm telling the homies, like, there's the police right there. So we looking and shit. A couple of homies get on with the pistols and shit. I give my pistol to one of the homies and shit. He get on, and Cyco was, he was standing with me, and the car doors was open. All 4 doors was popped open as they coming in there slow, with no lights on and nothing. So Cyco jumped on his bike. He rolled by him. They tried to swerve and hit him, and they missed. So he got on, rolled out of the hideaway, and our routine was, when you running out the front of the hideaway and you going up towards Imperial, all you're gonna do is go up, then come through the alley, and then jump back over the wall, run back through the hideaway. They ain't gonna be able to find you. Can't catch you. So as soon as he rolled out of the hideaway and rolled up, they reversed, chased him and shit. At the same time that they chasing him, at the same time about 30, 40 sheriffs jump over the wall, all green jackets, gang units, jump over the wall, lay us down at gunpoint. Simultaneously, the helicopter come, still not flashing no lights though. And then you hear about 10, 15 shots in the alley. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as I heard the shots, I already knew what happened. So then they just shot the homie. You know what I'm saying? So then after we heard the shots, that's when they lit the hideaway up, laid everybody down. And you can hear over the radio, shots fired, suspect down. Shit, so we like, damn. You know what I'm saying? They cuff everybody, put us all in separate cop cars and shit. And they rolled us around. After they put us in the car, he talked shit, of course. Yeah, we just shot your fucking homeboy. We just shot your homeboy Cyco. We finally got him. Shit like that. Cyco was a menace in the hood.
So what was their attitude, though?
Oh, man, like gang members. Like enemies. You know what I'm saying? When the enemy get at you, they're going to let you know, we got you. You know what I'm saying? Fuck you, we got you. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly how I felt. Like, damn, these motherfuckers.
So there was no law enforcement. All these people were supposed to be law enforcement, right?
Right.
Serve and protect,
right,
so to speak, right?
Yeah.
You didn't see that?
Yeah, nah, I ain't see that. Hell no.
Because did they render aid to Cyco?
Shit, about 30 minutes to an hour later, because they had us down on the ground for about 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because they were so they thought they were so smart, they were stupid. Because what we used to have our guns inside of a car underneath the carport. And they was walking around the car and shit. They knew something was up with this car, and you know what I'm saying, the guns was in the trunk, locked in the trunk. So when they drove us up to the crime scene, up to the alley, we could see Cyco on the stretcher and shit. He had I still remember he had a black Pendleton on, some green khakis, and some black chucks, and a black beanie. So they put him on a stretcher and shit, and they got all they medical bags and all this shit all on top of his body and shit. They ain't rendering no aid or nothing. They just got him right there in the alley. So the police that I was in the car with, he shined his light on him. He said, yeah, look at your homeboy right there. What you got to say about that? You know what I'm saying? And that shit like, man, took everybody to jail, of course, and, did their investigation. And then on the day of his funeral, they did another raid. They raided us while we was on our way to the funeral to hit the hideaway again. Right when we was pulling up, they blocked us in, jumped out, called back up. 15, 20 more sheriff cars, laid us all down on the ground and shit because they wanted to try to prove that he was a gang member. And of course, you know what I'm saying, we want to protect his identity and shit, but they already knew who he was and shit. So, they laid us down and shit and would question us about, why your homeboy shoot at the police? I'm telling the homies, don't say shit to these motherfuckers. Let them do what the fuck they want to do. You know what I'm saying? They even videotaped his funeral to show that he was a gang member and shit. You know what I'm saying? For the victims of crime and shit, all that shit.
Right. So, I know these things are very heartfelt and disturbing when you think about it. I mean, especially in the context of individuals that don't necessarily understand our culture and the way we live and how, over time, these institutions and just the racism that exists around it, and systemic racism that come out of these forces or these individuals that claim to be protectors of the community when in actuality they come in to dismantle and break the community because they see a color of skin. You know what I mean? It's like a trigger for them. You know what I mean? The color of a black man. You know what I mean? Young black man is a threat to them. You know what I mean? Because we have the ability to genetically annihilate the Caucasian race, and I understand that their survival techniques is a lot different from ours. You know what I mean? But the people in the community are weaponizing the police against black young men. You know what I'm saying? You know, when they call the police, because they don't know that the police is coming in like a Gestapo. They're not coming in to try to use conflict resolution. So when you see these people, even when you think about the mindset of the black officers that are in these organizations or gangs, they also become consumed and indoctrinated by that mentality. You know what I mean? And often they be worse than, because Edwards, jump out girl, jump out boy, whatever you want to call her, she was actually a black officer, right?
Yeah, she was black. Yeah.
Yeah, and she initiated the gunshots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I remember one time they crept up on us in the hideaway. That's when Blair still was living.
And
she crept up on me. I had something real big under my coat. She drew down on me and I ran right in her face, right at gunpoint. You know what I'm saying? But the only reason why she didn't shoot, because so many homies was throwing guns on the ground and shit. You know what I'm saying? She was more concentrated on them, but I broke right in her face. And one of my homies just got out the pen. And here we come Blair, come rolling up by herself, jump out the car. Seen the homie that got the pen, you know, hey Tony, what's up? Did you just get out? He's like, yeah. Grabbed him, cuffed him up, threw him in the car. I'm like, damn, what's up? You know, the homie's like, damn, why you tripping on the homie? He's like, yeah. Where we find the gun at? Where was the gun at? So Edward's like, yeah, it was thrown under his car. Okay, well, that's his gun. You know, he grabbed the homie T-Bone, man, and rolled him off. You know what I'm saying? But I used to see her all the time and shit. She used to be, you know, she'd jump out on you, start cussing you out, motherfucker, fuck you, woo, this and that. Like, damn, you know what I mean? You're a black cop, you treating us like this, like, goddamn, you know what I'm saying? You know, and she was the only female cop that ever came in our area that I know of.
So, let's talk about this for a moment. Since you and I, we done 1, 2, now this is our 3rd video, right? What have been some of the comments? I mean, because we got young crowd commenting, we also got neighborhood commenting. And this, I just want to show you guys how Professor Melly Mill is into building relationships and help healing our community. And sometimes these things, even though they seem difficult to talk about, but we have to talk about them in order to get past them. What are some of the things, feedback you're getting?
I'm getting some good feedback, you know, from the homies. You know, a lot of homies didn't know that was why they named the Hideaway. They thought we came up with that name, but nah, it was actually Blair who named it, and we just ran with it. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all want to say it's a Hideaway, we'll take that. We'll take that name. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of stuff that the homies didn't know that I enlightened them on and shit like that. And you know, even from the other side, you know, they getting at me and shit.
The in-hoods, right?
Yeah, in the comment section and shit, you know. I'm still trying to figure out who he is, but, you know, he just keeping it real. Like, you know, I was out there. You know, I was on the front line, you know. I ain't saying I'm the hardest motherfucker or the baddest nigga, but, you know what I'm saying? If you came across my path and you was an enemy, I had to handle my business. You know what I'm saying? It was fair game. It wasn't no sucker shit. You know, I didn't jump out on the nigga. It's 10 of us and it's 1 of them. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'd gave him a pass type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, we finna get out, even in the county jail. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like I'm a bigger match than him and I know I can get him, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna even, you know, I let one of the little homies take that fade for me. You know what I'm saying? Some shit like that.
Right.
I took fades for the homies that, you know what I mean, on the streets and in jail.
And even some of the young crowds have tapped in. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, I think it's, at the end of the day, man, the harsh reality of it all is that we somehow get some healing out of it. We're now living, you know, obviously, as you see where we at, you know what I mean? We got a pretty good life around here, you know what I mean? It's not it's not nothing going on right here. You know, we sitting here actually in my front yard, and we don't have to put our heads on the swivel. We don't have to watch each car or none of that. You know what I mean? So things have changed for us, you know. And how you like that change, man, Diablo? How have you embraced it? How has it wore on you?
It's a peace of mind, man. I mean, I still, you know, I've always lived my life the same way. You know what I'm saying? When I come home from work, I never take the same way home. I mean, even though I know I ain't been out here active and shit, but you never know what's on another motherfucker's mind. You know
That's true.
So I always live my life the same. When I'm at a stoplight, I always give myself that cushion. You know what I'm saying? If I'm somewhere, there's a large gathering, my back is against the wall. I'm gonna keep everything in front of me. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I already know times are different. You can't jump out on a nigga and want to get out with nobody these days.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because motherfuckers quick to pull that pistol out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just wanted to touch bases on, you know, there was a comment in there that somebody said something about we sided with the young crowds to go to war with a different black gang to kill blacks. And it wasn't like that, you know what I'm saying?
That was an accurate statement because I was over there.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Our feuds ain't got nothing to do with no Sereno gang. They feuds ain't got nothing to do with us. You know what I'm saying? Because you got black gangs that's tight with Sereno gangs that done killed other blacks. You got black gangs that's tight with Serenos, and the Serenos that kill.
And then that's not counting all the black members that was in part of Young Crowd.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. You got
We can't.
and Night Owl and all that. Yeah, you got black stuff from Young Crowd. But you know, people be talking that talk, but
They don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah, look at the history. I mean, go in there. If you know about that gang, then you would know that gang has war with every Hispanic gang in California, damn near. You know what I'm saying? The Southern California that I know of. You know
And then if you want to be technical about it, Young Crowd is probably responsible for a lot more against the Serenos than it is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? We ain't never been like that. We ain't never.
Right.
We ain't never. We done saved a nigga life that was from the other side before we even was beefing with them dudes. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to get at them and shit, but it's you ain't getting at nobody on Pope. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even do that in their hood, in their section. You know what I'm saying? You come in our section, you ain't finna be able to get at no other brother, whatever, you know what I'm saying, while we there, you know what I mean? And they always gave us that respect. So I say, we never stepped on their toes, they never stepped on our toes, you know what I'm saying? We ain't never had no, our politics ain't like that, you know what I'm saying? We don't get down like that.
I'm glad you got a chance to clear that up, man. We're going to leave it right there. Professor Melly Mill, I'm here with Big Devil, a.k.a. Diablo. From that notorious Polk Street, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And shout out to, man, my boy Kendu again, and T-Bone, man, and Dre, and Boo. Yeah. Rest in peace, Scoop, man. I got to shout out those cats, man, because those cats and Bo Freak Daddy, Black Rose, Tiny Mike, you know what I mean? Those guys right there, man, was always on that front line. And then when I met Young Devil, man, he was Young Q at the time, him Trigger, and his brother Dreamer, and just, you know, countless of other lowdown, you know what I mean? And Debo, right. I just want to tell them, man, you know what I mean? I always had tremendous love. Santana had tremendous love for him. And, man, I just wish that everybody, you know what I mean, sit down and figure it out. Matter of fact, let's all of us get some million and split us.